Hi guys, so this is Dato Michael over here. I'm talking about investments. And in the recent video that I made on EPF money, if you're above 55, you're above 65, should you take out your EPF money to invest, right? And a lot of people have been asking about this, is that how do I do it? And maybe some people also say, hey, it cannot be done. So this is my recommendation for those of you who have EPF at this moment and you are considering taking out for spending. And what I'm saying right now is don't do that. Or as a matter of fact, use a different alternative way for you to use your money instead of just spending it outside. Okay, and there are ways for you to actually make more money than rather just putting it into an EPF. Now, EPF today is very, very good. The rates of 2026 is 6.15% per annum. Now, that beats a lot of investments out there. Last year, 2025, it was at about 5.5%. So if you take this on an average, you're actually making anything from 5.75 to close to 6% a year on your money doing nothing out there. And that's pretty good returns. So yes, I would say for 80% of people, okay, 90% of people, you may consider putting your EPF one side. But I'm going to show you something else you can do to actually make a little bit more money. So watch this right now. So the question is, should you take that money out? And my real answer to you is this: no, unless you have another good investments for how you want to do things. So I'm going to show you one of the ways to do it. Let's say you are now at age 65 years old and you're able to take out some of your money from your EPF. Should you take out all this money? And my answer to you is, let's do it in a better creative way. So assuming, okay, you have about 650 or 600,000, okay, in your EPF account. So what I'll do right now is this: I want to pack this by earning it at a 6% per annum. And that's pretty good. Okay, but how can we use this in investments in the right way? And I'm going to share this to you right now. There is a way to do it, all right, whereby what happens is, what I'll ask you and suggest you to do is, let's not take all that money out. Let's do a comparison, okay, on how this can be done better. Take that 600,000 out, take 50% out. So at the end of the day, okay, you're left with another 300,000 ringgit cash, okay, earning 6% per annum. And we're going to stop it here. Let's take this and put it into investments. Now, again, I'm going to do a bit of a caveat over here before I start getting whacked by people on the internet again. How can this be done? This is going to be a scam. Let me just share this with you right now. Yes, you can do things like what I'm going to suggest for you to do, but you need to learn. It's not something that is conventional. It's not something that everyone can do without knowledge. Most people keep their money EPF, or most people don't make extra money because they don't have knowledge. So if you want to do this, you have to learn about it, but it is not that tough. I'm going to give you a little bit of a simple example right now. Let's say you take that money over here, take that 300,000 ringgit, okay, and you put it into a property, fully cash, all right, to pay this off, right, which will then generate you a rental returns. So this rental returns, and I'm not going to do anything fancy, right? I'm not going to give you like 10% returns, 12% returns, okay? Average rental returns over here is 4.23% in Malaysia at this moment. But if you are able to find a good deal out there and work a little bit harder, right? And I share with people how to do this as well, then you can get a rental of about 6%. Okay, now 6 to 6.5, it's not that hard. All right, now assuming over here per annum. Okay, now I know there's going to be talking a lot, but let's talk about this right now. So what you're essentially doing is this: 6% in EPF or 6% in rentals. What's the benefit? Okay, so the difference between these two is, well, this one is 6%, and 6% of $300,000 means that you get 18,000, okay, coming in every year. Here, the good news is your 18,000 over here per year comes in on a monthly basis. So the good news is you don't have to wait the entire year before the money comes in. If you rent it out, you would get ringgit Malaysia, 1,500 per month. And this will actually help you with your living expenses rather than wait for the money to come in year after year. Okay, now I'm going to do a simple example over here. I'm assuming, of course, there's no expenses, no maintenance fee and stuff like that to handle. Now, if you want to handle that, of course, you just have to get a little bit higher, maybe 6.5 to 7%. But let's not get into it lah, huh? Can it be done? Yes, it can. But I'm just giving an apple-to-apple example, and why it benefits on assets and investments over here is because the difference is this. The difference is here is cash money. Okay? The big difference between asset and cash is not this. This just trying to tell you this and this at this moment is even, equally. Here versus here, 1 to 1. Okay? I win here, I also win here. But what is the real power of asset is this. Most assets have another superpower called capital appreciation. So, while your 300,000 preserves its value in EPF, meaning that this money doesn't go down, you still keep 300,000. The good thing about asset classes, and in most asset classes, is your capital appreciates as time goes by. Now, I'm not going to take a very big appreciation. Let's take about 3% a year. 3% a year means in about 20 years, the number doubles. Okay, in less than 10 years, the number increased by 50%. Well, what is that to you? It's still an increase. Well, in the next 10 years, this money still takes. So let's take 10 years into the future, right? Okay, and if you take out your dividends every year, okay, and you use it every year and you don't put it back into it, doesn't accumulate, you will still end up with 300,000 a year. That's the only difference. But if you take into an asset class over here, the capital appreciation at 3% on average per annum, okay, gives you an increase of about 50% in 10 years. Let's just take simple numbers over here, right? Compounded. So that will give you 450,000 in capital value for the property. Now, here's the good news. If your 6% rental returns sits, okay, based on your value, your money also goes up. So while in 10 years time, you still get another 18,000 coming in every year from here, the 6% will no longer be just 18,000. It comes up to be RM 1,750 ringgit per month. And that equates to RM 21,000 per year. So let's talk apple to apple right now. And this is what I mean by investments. If you have moderate sense of investments, am I doing something that's actually very radical? Is it very hard to do? No, I'm not. I'm asking you to compare your money in cash form versus money put into a good asset form. Again, this has to be studied. You have to invest money into yourself to know the knowledge. You have to do your own research. So I'm going to caveat there by saying you need two things in order for this to happen. Number one, you need to have your skills in order for you to learn how to find good deals like this. And number two, you need to do your research, right? In order for you to actually get this done. Is it possible? Yes. What's the other downside? The other downside is, yes, you will also have to put in a little work for management. What kind of work? Make sure that the property is upkept properly, that the tenant pays the bill, stuff like that. Now, I do that. It doesn't take up a lot of my time, once a month. Once the tenant is actually steady, I don't really disturb the tenant for the next 6 months to 1 year for only rental renewals. Okay? So it's not that hard. Okay? But with a little bit more effort, a little bit more skill, and a lot of good research, you can see that your money can run a little bit further than just putting into EPF. My friends, this is only one of the many small ways of me to make more money. If I told you I actually make 2% to 3% a month on all my other investments, would you be interested to learn that as well? So this is where I tell people, okay, about my little bit of my techniques called build your own bank. Instead of putting money into the bank, learn how to build your own bank where your money actually runs from you. All right, if you want to know more about it, click into my bio, come over there. I'll give you a free class where I'll show you how you can do this on an exponential way. All right, so thank you for listening. Till next time around, see ya.